So all week long we've looked at how good the gospel is, how great and how wonderful the gospel is. And so, today, as we look at this, the Apostle Paul, he said, moreover, brethren, in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 1, he said, moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel which I preached unto you, which also ye have received, and wherein ye stand, by which also ye are saved. And so as you look at this, he's talking to folks who have received the gospel message. They have received it. And then he turns around and he says in verse 3, he said, for I deliver to you first of all, and what that word right there is saying, of first importance. The gospel is of first importance. It is of absolute importance, that which I also received. So he's saying here, you received the gospel, I received the gospel, and we've looked at all week long at how great, how wonderful, how fabulous the gospel is. And when we look at how wonderful the gospel is, how fabulous the gospel is, and if you have tasted of the Lord, you know that he is good. You know that he is wonderful. And so, friends, we know that because we have received that. And since we have received that, we understand how good Jesus is within our life and what a blessing he is within our life, again, because we received it. They received it. Paul received it. Now, friends, we look out into the world. Why do I make these videos? Because I want people to receive the gospel. I want them to hear the gospel. I want them to believe the gospel. And once they believe the gospel, they receive the gospel. Now, I don't have time to get into it right now, but friends, I can assure you, and I can spend some time with you and very quickly demonstrate to you that as Christians, it is our job to deliver the gospel message to this lost and dying world. Jesus told us to preach the gospel to all creation, to everybody, that we need to be preaching the gospel. Why do we need to preach the gospel? So they can receive the gospel. Why is this world so wicked today? I'll tell you exactly why this world is so wicked today. The world is so wicked today because they have not received the gospel. If they received the gospel, they wouldn't be acting the way that they're acting. And so they're acting wickedly because they don't know Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. But you know what is more wicked than the wickedness of this world? Is a Christian who has received the gospel, who knows the gospel, who understands the gospel, but won't deliver the gospel. You're more wicked than they are. You're more wicked than they are because you receive the blessings of the gospel, but you won't cast out the gospel seed to where others can hear the gospel. Now, it's not up to us on which ground the gospel seed falls, because Jesus says as we sow the seed, some of it's going to fall along the roadside, some of it's going to fall on the stony ground, some of it's going to fall on the thorny ground, and some of it's going to fall in the good soil. We're simply called to cast the seed out, not determine where it falls and who hears it, but simply cast it out. And we're to be sharing it with everybody. That's what the seed sower, everywhere he went, man, the seed was just flying everywhere. It was going all over the place, everywhere he went. Roadside, stony ground, thorny ground, good soil, everywhere. And that's what we're to be doing with everyone, everywhere, casting that seed out. But if you're not, and you can look down your nose at the wickedness of the world all you want to. If you know the gospel, you received the gospel, you believed on Jesus, you understand the gospel, and you're not casting the seed out, you're more wicked than they are, because you have had the gall to tell a holy God, a sovereign God, King of kings and Lord of lords, who told you to cast that gospel seed out. You have the gall to tell him no. You have that gall. And friends, NFL, the football season, is started. It's among us. The NFL could have the greatest receiver. Receiver is the one who catches the ball, for those of you who may not know. You have the greatest receiver the world has ever seen. But he'll never prove his worth until the quarterback throws him the ball. And if the quarterback refuses to throw him the ball, we'll never see how good he can be. If we never cast the seed, the world will remain in wickedness. And we're wicked for not casting the seed. You know the good news today? If you don't, friends, receive it. Receive Jesus. Nothing greater in this world. I can promise you that. But if you know him, cast that seed. Share the good news of Jesus with everyone that you come into contact with. I always tell you to share these videos. Share this video. But go beyond that. And with your own mouth, share the gospel. They don't just need to see your good works. Yes, they need to see your good works, but it needs to be more than just that. They need to hear the gospel so they can know what the gospel is and receive the gospel. Have that opportunity to receive the gospel. Cast those seeds out today. So would you share this video so others can hear it and others can be challenged to cast that gospel seed out?